Hello everyone, your favorite thing and mine, another narrated breakdown courtesy of your boy BD. So, this time around, another popular request, I'm trying to stick to these, is Mr. Volkan Oezdemir, Mr. No Time. So here I just wrote up a little bio, I'm not going to read it, you can certainly pause it, and I'm assuming all of you are literate at this point. But that's just some background as to why I'm covering him and what his background is. Henri Hooft is kind of the common denominator here, so I wanted to compare him to some other students, people that Henry's coached, besides the one you're listening to right now. So let's start with Mr. T-Spong. This was right after he had just gotten rocked in this fight. Now pay attention to his left hand framing here. See how he's kind of on bad legs. Now what he's doing is kind of range finding, but also using it as like a stiff arm and backing up. Now pay attention to his legs and his high guard. Now as soon as he extends out, he can see what's going on. And he's also keeping range and playing defense. So when I freeze it here, he's measuring as to where to throw a punch, but also, given his high shoulder, the left portion of his chin is tucked in, so he's good on the right hand, and he can see the left hand and whether or not it's coming. But he also knows where to aim to do that. And that, ladies and gents, is some serious power. So in a way, it's kind of a range finder, but it's also a way, as you're backpedaling, to put weight transfer back onto your right foot to then throw that right hand with power. And as you see here, when they talk about bad legs, that's a pretty good example, no? So, you see a commonality there. Here's another person that has worked with Henry in the past, a little man by the name, far from little, a guy by the name of Rumble. Now, check this out against the unfortunate, I guess, cannon fodder of my video, in Jimi Manuwa. Now this is a little different in setup, but you have the same mentality here. What you see is a stiff arm for measurement. Now this was off of a bit of a lead leg 9, and as it came back, that's when he pronated as like a rangefinder, that stiff arm jab measuring stick, boom, right hand chin shot, very similar to the one we saw with Spong against, I believe that guy's name is Michael Doot. Here it is from another angle, slowed down, and that from Rumble is absolute no chance of getting up. Good night. So fast forward to the man of the hour, Mr. Volkan No Time Oezdemir, and if I'm butchering it, I apologize. Right away, what do we see? We see the left hand pronating and the right overhand to follow. He did some kickboxing. He has a good record. I believe it's, I'll leave it in the description, but I think it was 5-0 professionally kickboxing after meeting Mr. Overeem. Look at that timing, the dip in the head there with a nice 10. And this is back to some MMA, but you're going to see some common themes throughout these fights and the couple fights that we do know. Now this is crazy, and I put obviously holy short punching. Again, short punching can mean two things. In this case, it is how much distance he needed to land that strike for the KO. It is absolutely uncanny that from 4 inches away he was able to put that guy into basically a coma with that left hook. So there's a beautiful distance to into a shot. This is another theme you're going to kind of see from him. See how far away he is. Throws that right into an immediate level change, uses the cage to clench his hands, and a beautiful slam afterwards. And I put to not sleep also on the grappling. After that throw, you see a really nice knee on belly transition, kind of seamlessly. I don't know how much work he's done with, like, say, Melanson, but I know, he's worked with the same guys down in Boca. So there's the nice knee on belly, but I think the slam is probably what did most of the damage. I would have to say that he has some of the most awkward power or unusual power I've seen in a long time. It's not so obvious. So here, this is kind of quick and very subtle, especially the camera shot I have of it, but he changes angle on an exiting opponent who leaves their left part of their chin exposed on a heavy-handed guy. So see that little quarter pivot that he did there while he was kind of against the cage? As the guy disengaged, he had no type of chin tuck, no type of left hand to cover up. So results were pretty obvious and devastating. So some more nice stand-up and subsequent grappling. And again, you're going to see some jab range finding and a nice powerful right leg kick. And this is the kind of stuff that Henry's big on, especially jab right leg kick rather than the traditional Dutchie. And he'll segue that after the buckling of the leg into a beautiful slam. And there's just this really, it is holy shit power, but look at how little space there is there. I mean, he's barely moving his left arm. And with the right, see right there, there's nothing, but the right here, the guy's head clacks off the canvas. Again, these are like, they're going to be so obviously thematic by the end of this video. I think I've referenced this before, although I don't think I've ever done an actual Dan Henderson breakdown, but the Hendo overhand right into takedown, it's a wrestler's, it's a common wrestling type combination because of the way, see how the guy defended up high, and that allows you to shoot down, level change, and get a hold of their legs, scoop them out. It also drives your right hip and foot forward. So the way that he chin hunts and the accuracy in which he does it is it's absolutely uncanny. These little button shots. Watch here. Watch this left. See how it just kind of dinked them? Both of those shots. I'm not even sure the right hand landed, to be honest. There's just these little barely there shots that are putting people not kind of like into a state of haze. So same side right 10, short 2, same side striking power. Again, I talk about this a lot. And everyone does it a little bit different, but look at the shortness of that right 2. I mean, he's not even planted on his foot. This is like a Superman jab knocking somebody out, but awkwardly. You know, it's not, that wasn't from any distance. There's no distance. And again, here, when the finish happened, I don't know if it's the clinch knee. I mean, it looks like it landed, but look at, there's nothing really, there's no wind up on the punches. There clearly was. But leg kicks, of course. I mean, I could make every video about leg kicks. You guys would get bored. I wouldn't. But there's a lot of power there. This guy's obviously fearsome. He's got that explosive nature to his striking. So here you see a nice kind of caught kick into a takedown, and immediately it's just damage done. I mean, if you're on your back against this guy, good luck. I don't know how slick his ground game is. I haven't honestly seen enough of it to really say, because this UFC tenure has been kind of short-lived. Interestingly, here we have the Hooft special stiff arm into overhand right from the 3/4 mount. I just thought it was a little bit of a sidebar, but it might be one of the ways in which he chin checks from the ground. And 3/4 mount seems to be a position he's very comfortable in. So, welcome to the UFC, making his debut on short notice against a very gamey OSP. I'd imagine if you were to go to Vegas, the odds were not in No Time's favor. They were I would certainly imagine that OSP was favored. I didn't show much from that because the highlights were kind of moot, but a lot of short shots, same stuff. But OSP's got a hell of a chin. He's very durable. Won by split, it was split decision, I'm pretty sure. So one of the most bizarre finishes ever. Misha Cirkunov caught him, chased him down, and then seemed to just fall like he got shot. Definitely a fuck moment. So, in my take on it is that it's very similar to Lesnar-Couture or McGregor-Poirier. It's the behind-the-ear KO. It's that kind of, that between your ear and the crevice on the back of your neck there. That spot. See, hitting right there? Obviously the short power that I've been hammering home like crazy. It's right in that spot. And see how his legs just completely give out? I mean, that's a done deal. You only need so much proof before you go, oh, okay. So this is when the world took notice, certainly, against Jimi Manuwa. So a lot of people kind of thought it was a lazy clinch or whatever for Manuwa, but upon further inspection, check this out. So this is a collar tie. It invites the left hook, right? Now, it's not as though Manuwa is going to throw a left hook, but it's the way that his right arm is, that's usually a position in which would invite one. So his head control is good. In other words, he's going to disguise the strike that he intends to throw. And what's going on with the left arm being inside is that when he takes it out, it seems like it would be for positioning, but he's hiding the path of the upcoming left hook or 3. So notice his head and his hand right here. and Manuwa never saw that coming whatsoever. So again, I'm going to slow this down, and I want you to just kind of keep in mind, it doesn't really matter if you're the puncher and you got a collar tie, but if you're the person getting punched, your periphery or your field of vision matters a ton. So there was the follow-up flurry. It's kind of hard to tell what landed and how, but I, interestingly enough, thought that that was a proper question. Was it a shove? Was it a push? I think it's a little more obvious in this case. I'll let you decide on the other one of pop culture lore at this point. But I wanted you to also notice his head bouncing off the canvas, and because it's terrifying, and people should know that, and street fights oftentimes whenever someone gets seriously hurt, this is how it happens. They get hit and their body kind of goes just out, and their head slams off anything. I mean, concrete, especially if it's a curb. I know someone, I think they used to train on that side of Tong or something, but someone from the eastern side of my state ended up going to jail for something like that. So, see from this angle, you can clearly see he didn't end up throwing a left hook, Manuwa. It's not so much that he was lazy, maybe complacent, I guess, but he never saw that shot coming at all. And again, we've seen just an insurmountable amount of evidence that he doesn't need much as far as space in order to put you down. And that last one there, it's like everything he throws is short, but it's always on the chin. So I said, make sure you're subscribed, because I keep getting from people that they're getting like unsubscribed from my channel, and I'm not going to get into a conspiracy theory about it, but just make sure that you are, please. So, finished in no time, right? Mr. No Time.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Make some time to go down, hit like, share, subscribe. Love you all. Cheers.